Hello anime fans, welcome to Shwarnock Anime. This is the Beginner's Guide to Anime! This video will be broken up into several categories / genres. A few things before we get started. Although some of the anime in this list may not be as good as other anime in the list, I still think they are the best series for their particular genre or category. Even though you might not like all of the anime in this video, if you're a fan of a particular genre, you might want to check out the series I have listed for that genre. These are my opinions, and you may or may not agree with them. I don't have the anime listed in any particular order. And lastly, some of these series could be put in a different genre or category, but I put them where I thought they were best suited. So let's jump in. So the first genre I have is 90s shonen. What do I mean by 90s shonen? Shonen is a genre that is geared towards male teenagers. These shows often have epic battles and beefy villains. But why shonen from the 90s in particular? A lot of older fans got into anime during this time period, and a lot of modern anime are influenced by shows from this era. Although the animation doesn't always stand up to modern technologies, there are definitely a few series you should check out. One of the most important series in terms of my and a lot of other people's fandoms is Dragon Ball Z. For those of you who don't know, Dragon Ball Z follows Goku and his friends as they try to protect the world from aliens and other threats, while at the same time trying to collect the 7 Dragon Balls, which will grant you any wish you desire. Now, I know almost everybody in the world, even my granny, has heard of Dragon Ball Z, but it has to be in this list. Dragon Ball Z was a formative series because it made anime mainstream-ish. I remember back when I was in middle school, my friends and I would rush home every day from school just so we can watch the new episode of Dragon Ball Z. Now, several years ago, a new form of Dragon Ball Z was made called Dragon Ball Z Kai. What it did was take the original Dragon Ball Z series and cut out all of the filler, making it more closely resemble the manga. In doing so, it took the 291 episodes of Dragon Ball Z and reduced it to 167. For those of you who haven't seen Dragon Ball Z, I would suggest watching Dragon Ball Z Kai because it's a lot faster paced and a lot of the boring stuff is cut out of it. Dragon Ball Z Kai can be streamed on Funimation and Hulu. It's available both dubbed and subbed. However, at the time of this video's release, only the first 98 episodes is available dubbed. Next up is Yu Hakusho, which follows Yusuke Urameshi, who dies. Don't worry, it happens in the first episode, it's not a spoiler. After he dies, he's brought back to life as a spirit detective and is tasked with investigating supernatural events throughout the world. This series originally aired on Adult Swim back in 2002, but I actually didn't get into it until many years later. The reason being is it kinda has a slow start. However, by the second arc, I was hooked. There's a lot of great epic battles, especially during the Dark Tournament. Yu Hakusho is 112 episodes long, but unfortunately it can't be streamed on any of the legal streaming sites. These next two series are what you get when you feed crack to anime. If you want to see how wild and over the top anime can get, these shows are for you. I don't think anybody would disagree with me when I say that Gurren Lagann is over the top and ridiculous. In a future world, Simon lives in an underground city. He knows nothing of the world except for that city, and he spends his days digging tunnels, expanding it. One day, while digging his tunnels, he finds a small-sized mech unit. With the help of his overly passionate friend Kamina, he's able to escape to the world above. However, life outside the caves is way more dangerous than he could have ever known. Honestly, that small snippet of a plot description doesn't do this series justice. What I loved most about this series was its scale. At the beginning of the series, the mecha are human-sized, but by the end, they're bigger than galaxies, and they're throwing galaxies at each other like shuriken. Ridiculous. Gurren Lagann is 27 episodes long and can be streamed on Crunchyroll, Netflix, and Hulu. If you think Kill la Kill is over the top, you're gonna love this series, which is fitting because Kill la Kill was made by Studio Trigger. Studio Trigger was created by former members of Studio Gainax, and Studio Gainax made both Gurren Lagann and Fooly. Now, trying to explain the plot of Fooly Cooly is kind of like trying to explain why people support Trump for president. It's nearly impossible, but I'll try anyway. This series follows Naota Nandaba, who is 12 years old. He runs into a mysterious woman whose name is Haruko Haruhara, who cracks him in the head with a blue vintage Rickenbacker 4001 electric guitar. This opens a no portal on his forehead where robots will periodically emerge from. This series is a huge WTF, and if you want wacky, it's a must-see. At a length of only 6 episodes, there really isn't any reason not to watch it. Fooly Cooly can be streamed on Funimation. The mecha genre is a branch of sci-fi where people pilot giant robots. The robots always have a humanoid appearance, and they can sometimes transform. A lot of series in this genre take place in a war setting, and some of them even delve into the political aspects of war. So the first series I'm going to talk about is Eureka 7. This series revolves around Renton Thurston, who is the son of Adrock Thurston, who died saving the world. Renton feels his life is boring and his only joy comes from lifting. Lifting is a sport similar to surfing, but it's done in the air, which is possible because of the abundance of trap art particles. Renton gets the chance to chase his dreams and join the renegade group Gecko State when one of its members, Eureka, crashes a mecha unit called the Nirvash Type 0 into his house. Eureka 7 is a great series with in-depth character development. The mecha are well designed and the plot is interesting. Add to all of that an amazing soundtrack and you have one of the best mecha series ever created. Eureka 7 is 50 episodes long and can be streamed on Netflix, Funimation, and Hulu. This next series is one of my personal favorites, Neon Genesis Evangelion. A boy named Shinji Ikari is summoned to Tokyo 3 by Gendo Ikari, his estranged father, who is also the director of an organization called NERV. NERV's goal is to save the world from alien monstrosities called angels by using giant robots called Evas. The Evas can only be piloted by children. Now, there are several iterations of Evangelion. The original was a 26-episode series that aired from 1995 to 1996. I suggest you start here. Then there was a lot of controversy over the last 2 episodes. It seems like they lost some of their budget and ran out of money, so they were kind of crap. So then a feature film by the name of End of Eva was created. This is supposed to be the true ending for the Evangelion TV series. However, in my opinion, the pinnacle of the Evangelion franchise is the rebuild of Evangelion. Hideaki Anno, the director and creator of Evangelion, decided to go back and retell the whole story using 4 feature-length films. The TV series and the rebuild movies are supposed to be taking place in their own separate universes. However, there's a lot of speculation they may be connected. Although you can watch the rebuild movies without seeing the original TV series, there are many parallels between the TV series and the rebuild movies, so you'll definitely get a lot of insight if you check out the TV series first. At the time of this video, only 3 of the rebuild movies have been released. Unfortunately, at the time of this video's creation, the TV series and the rebuild movies are not available on any of the legal streaming sites. Now, I couldn't create a list like this without mentioning the Gundam franchise, but trying to determine which Gundam series to mention proved to be a daunting task because the Gundam franchise is enormous, which is immediately apparent when you check out this relation graph of all the series. However, after some delegation, I decided on Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin. Gundam Origin is a retelling of the original Gundam series that follows Char Aznavold's rise to power and becoming the Red Comet of the Zeon forces. Now, every single Gundam series falls into one of 2 categories, either Universal Century or Standalone Universe. Universal Century all take place in the same universe, and there are multiple series: the original Mobile Suit Gundam series, Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta, Turn A, Unicorn. All of these series take place in Universal Century. Standalone universes are their own standalone stories that don't relate to any other franchises, or if they do, it's a minimal amount, such as Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny. Gundam Origin is a Universal Century series, but it takes place before all of the other ones. With high production values and an intriguing story, it's definitely a good place for someone to dip their feet into this franchise. Mobile Suit Gundam Origin will be 4 episodes long, each running an hour in length. As of the creation of this video, only the first 2 episodes have been released in the United States, and they are available on daisuki.net.
Do the impossible, see the invisible. Row, row, fight the power, touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable. Row, row, fight the power, power to the peeps, power for the dreams. Still missing piece, scattering so incomplete. We be that once incredible soldier from underground.